Welling on Saturday, what are you expecting?
I'm expecting a tough game. Obviously, we lost at Welling this year, which was disappointing. I think our team has changed an awful lot since the team that started at Welling. We're looking forward to it. Obviously, we had disappointment in our last game, so it's a chance for us to go out and play and hopefully keep our fantastic league form going.
Are you seeing the Worthing game as a blip? Or that's obviously the hope.
Yeah, very disappointing. I think I picked the wrong team. I think it was still a team that was more than comfortable with going there and getting a result. Defeat is and losing games of football will always happen. Always. We're going to lose again between now and the end of the season. But it was the manner of it. Having said that, watch the game back, which wasn't enjoyable. First 15 minutes are absolutely fine. Should be 1-up. Undoubtedly should be 1-up, maybe 2-up. And I think from minute 15 to half time, we got run over the top of. We just looked so alien to the team that we have been, and to the players have been performing to a very, very high level. And for 30 minutes, it was just, I don't even know if it was self-destruct. It was, I actually can't work it out. And then second half, the game's over at half time anyway. And second half, it's a pretty even game, but Worthing already 4-0 up. So, yeah, look, it's disappointing. I was embarrassed. But we've trained great, and I think you have to let it hurt, but you also have to let it go, because we're in fantastic form in the league, and we are where we are in the league for a reason. So we can't wait for Saturday.
How much of a cliche is the saying, well, at least we can just concentrate on the league now?
It is a cliche, but you're right. You're obviously right, because we're out of every cup. So I think it can. It's a competition I wanted to do well in, but so we're out of it. I'm partly responsible for that with the team I picked. But there's a reason I picked that team. Yeah, and it's we have to concentrate on the league.
There's been quite a few leaders of the National League South. I mean, you've been there for a few games now. How much pride do you take in the fact you've got there and managed to stay there? I know it's early.
Yeah, without sounding very Paul Wotton, it matters. It's nice. It's an ego boost. There's 22 games left. You know, it's the league that top of that league will chop and change quite a bit, I think, between now and the end of the season.
Injury-wise, how are you looking?
So Matty Wonnacott is fully fit now. He was on the bench against Worthing, and Jay Forston is making progress.
Yeah, it was interesting Matt was on the bench, because you sort of hinted that you perhaps wouldn't put a goalkeeper on the bench.
I think in the FA Trophy you're allowed 7 subs in the FA Trophy, and I just felt like he deserved to be around the boys on a match day, because he hasn't had that chance to do that yet this season. We think a lot of him. I think he's going to be a top goalkeeper. His break was much worse than we first realised, and he's been working tremendously hard, and I think it was just reward for him to, you know, and if there's 7 subs, it's a no-brainer to take Matty and have him on the bench.
Are you looking maybe to let him go out on loan again, or?
As to, I think he needs to train a bit first. I think that would be the aim, definitely. But I'm not sure he's quite ready yet.
And otherwise, ins and outs, all fairly quiet on that front at the moment?
Yeah, I think it's obviously it's a manic time, isn't it? It's been my phone's been inundated with agents and directors of football and all that sort of thing, seeing if we want to take players. I'm happy with the squad. I'm happy. We're always looking to strengthen. That doesn't matter whatever position we were in the league or wherever we are, you know, budget-wise or anything like that. Always looking to strengthen. But we'll only sign players who I think enhance the starting 11 and who add value to Torquay United.
And the January transfer window as such doesn't apply anyway. In a way,
No.
Is it better to almost let the dust settle in January and then see what's still around in February?
Yeah, because then Football League players can only go on loan then to National League teams. So yeah, sometimes I mean it's you know, if you showed an interest in every player you was punted, you would never get on the training ground. So you know, we've got targets that, you know, might become available by chance in January, but they're more long-term targets. You know, you have to play the waiting game.
Thank you, Paul. Best of
No
luck.
problem.
You said a couple of times there that you felt like you picked the wrong team last Saturday. You don't have to explain your team selections, but what might you have done differently? What's in the back of your mind when you say that?
Well, there's not a lot I would have done differently. But I just felt. I think it's important to remember we had a hell of a tough game New Year's Day against Truro, and the players like Jordan Dyer was rested for the Worthing game. Previous two FA Trophy games, Sam Drayo had been rested and played with Ed Palmer. So that's one area that we was always going to rest one of them anyway. And Ed had played in the previous 2 rounds. Cody was beat up and battered and bruised from the Truro game, and the risk and reward I just wasn't prepared to take that chance. And Youngie was battered and bruised as well. Jordan Young has come in from Yeovil, hadn't played 90 minutes for a long time. He's come in and played a consistent run of heavy minutes, not always 90, but big minutes. I thought it was a chance to take him out of the team. I thought JT is suspended for Saturday, so I was, you know, ready to run JT again in the Worthing game. Now I could have played a different shape, but that's the shape we've been playing has been working. Look, it didn't work, but that team that got picked was still plenty good enough to go there and put on a better performance.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of the result, but a better performance. And I've ever since I've signed Omar, I've always had a feeling he could do a job there. And we tried it out in a game against good opposition, and he showed glimpses of. I still think he can do that. I think ultimately, there are too many players who've been playing at a very, very high level, didn't meet those levels on Saturday. I think it's as simple as that.
You mentioned Jordan Young. He's really getting his feet under the table, isn't he? Scoring goals, scoring some important goals.
Yeah.
And what does he bring to the team? How important is he to your team?
Well, when I talk about short-term and long-term targets, he's been a long-term target. We managed to get him. Obviously, the owners backed me on that, and we got him in the door, got him in the building. It takes time for any new player to settle. He obviously started the game on fire, didn't he, against Chelmsford? And then he dipped a little bit, but he's coming back now, and he's getting used to us. We're getting used to him. I think he's getting his match fitness is pretty much there now. He just brings tremendous quality. He's a very brave football player, as in 2 forms of bravery. You know, you can stick your head in and be cut and all that, but he's tremendously brave when at times the game isn't going our way. Youngie will take the ball in tight areas, you know, and he goes past a couple of players, or he holds on to it for 5-10 seconds and just takes the sting out of the game. Fantastic technical football player.
And we're very close now to that sort of magical 2 points a game thing. A lot of managers talk about that. Is that something that you chart, or is it just one game at a time and see how it goes?
I honestly, I am one game at a time. I don't. I've played for managers before who put a season into 8 game blocks or 12 game blocks or 6 game blocks. I've never really done that. I've never set points targets for the month. I don't do that. I am game by game. I think the 2 points per game analogy we're spot on. It's true. You know, it works. And if you do that all season and you don't get promoted, then someone's had an extremely good season. You know, so you know it's something I'm aware of. But I honestly, hand on my heart, I am game by game.
The last game we played against a team that wasn't in form was Hemel, and they were very tough to break down. We'll see what Welling are like on Saturday, as opposed to teams who come to us thinking they can get a result here and all that kind of stuff. Is that something that you're almost steeling yourself for, that Welling may well prove to be one of the teams that come here and are going to say, well, go on then, see if you can break it down, which makes it quite hard for...
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. I would never sit here and try and preempt what my opposition manager would do or what the team would do. I mean, they had a great result on Tuesday night against Weymouth. They had a win.
And they brought a couple of players in, haven't they?
They've brought some players in, yeah. They've been active, and they've got good players already there. They're comfortably out of the relegation zone. Especially with that win on Tuesday night. So, I haven't seen their game against Weymouth yet. I've watched their game against Maidstone and the previous game against Chelmsford. So, I kind of know what to expect.
You're not assuming that they're going to come here and park the bus, in other words.
Dave, I think all I do know is the current Torquay United squad. I think they've been together for 24 league games, 4 or 5 cup games. Been together for about 28, 29 games now. Slowly starting to get to where we want to be, but as always, and I always say, we're not where we want to be yet. We're a work in progress. We're not the finished article. I think we're probably exceeding expectations at the minute. The boys are doing great, and what I also know is that teams coming to Plainmoor look forward to it. They look forward to it because the crowd's tremendous, best crowd in the league. Pitch is good. It's always a good atmosphere, and it's the best stadium in the league as well. So they're not going to come here and roll over. As we all know, no one's giving Torquay United anything. We've got everything, every point we get, every goal we score, every result we get. We have to work tremendously hard for it, as all football clubs do, by the way. But we have to work really, really hard. No one's giving us anything.
I had a good chat with Michael Westcott pre-Christmas for a feature in the paper. And one of the things that came across from the chat with him was that how much they're learning on the job, as well as yourself, and it's all a brand new thing that's happening.
Yeah.
As a board, as co-chairman, where do you see them? What kind of co-chairman are they? Are they listening, or are they telling, or where do they?
Both.
Yeah. Where do they? I mean, you've had chairman. Lots of chairmen down the years.
Yeah.
How do you see them?
Oh, they're great.
Yeah.
No, they're great. They're great people. Good company. Speak to them daily basis about all sorts. Not just about football.
Because they've all got different skill sets. Of people
Absolutely.
On the board.
All members of the Bryn are tremendously successful people in their own fields. And I learn off them as much as they learn off me. We all get on very, very well at the moment. And like I said, they're good company. They're always on the end of the they're very supportive. Very supportive.
Yeah.
They've been tremendous with me. Everything I've asked for, they've done.
Do you see them as a modern board?
Yeah, well, I suppose so. I mean, I think the stereotypical chairman drives the big Jag with the cigar, and do you know what I mean, in the boardroom and all that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're a thing anymore. I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, they're varying in ages as well. The owners, that. So it's I'm not sure who's the oldest actually, but they're great people, and at the minute we've got a fantastic working relationship. They're really supportive of myself. They really are.
Brilliant.
Paul, plastic pitches.
Yeah.
Like, as a Torquay fan, they've been the bane of our lives for years. We can't seem to get results on them. Obviously, the 2 really bad away days this year, both on plastic pitches.
Yeah.
Lots of games come in against, you've got your Dorking, Maidstone. There's obviously an advantage for the home team.
Yeah.
So how are we going to be able to combat that? What do we need to do different? Because I know you train on it. How do we get a result?
I think the 2 games you've touched on, we were just poor in both games. Bishops, Cleveland, Worthing, we were poor. Away at Eastbourne, I thought we'd done very well against a strong team. It is different. It is different. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not. And in a perfect world, I would rather all pitches with grass. I understand the reasons why teams have plastic pitches, financial gain, and so on. And I fully understand that. I think it's definitely. I mean, a lot of we got 12 away games left. I think 9 of them are on plastic. I think got Averley, Slough, Maidstone, Dorking. I'm missing others. Tonbridge.
Last game of the season.
There's a few
Hemel,
more.
isn't it?
Hemel, got to go there
Last
as well.
game.
It's plastic.
Yeah.
So listen, it's something that I don't know if we, do you approach the game differently? Do you play different players? You know, some players can turn on the plastic, some players can't. It's definitely. I think it's more of a technical pitch, plastic pitch, definitely. It's a good question, Clive. You've done me. You've done me. One of your best.
You'd be the first one. You'd be the first person to give a proper answer on that because it's different. I do think it's difficult.
It's vastly different. It's
Yeah.
it's vastly different. The ball don't bounce the same.
No.
The ball doesn't. You know, I've seen a few highlights of Dawkins. Dawkins is an older one. The ball bounces and almost checks back. Some of
Maidstone's older as well.
Maidstone's just been relayed this year,
Oh, is it?
so
Beg
Maidstone's
your pardon, sorry.
is different. Averley's been relayed as well, so the ball moves quick on the floor. I don't think it's true football. It takes away that element of unpredictability, I think.
You've obviously trained on them a lot, but did you ever play any games on plastic?
No,
They weren't really a thing
no. Believe it or not,
after about 95. they were
believe it or
gone.
not, I'm too young to have been on the Luton and QPR and Preston
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
And after that, they're banned, aren't they, in the football
Yeah,
league?
it's
So
95 they were
no,
banned, I think.
I've never played on one. Trained on it a few times, but they are getting better. Some of them are fantastic, but
Tackling technique is different, isn't it? Everybody talks about the ball all the time, but
Yeah.
the way you go in for a tackle or
I think it changes things. Yeah,
it does.
I think it changes
It
things.
does.
It's something. Obviously, we got some very tough away games coming up. Is it a leveler? I'm not sure. I don't know. But it's a completely different game, Clive. You're absolutely right.
Sometimes you'd assume that the teams that play on it every week, the home teams, would be all pass. They actually aren't.
No.
They go long on them, quite
Yeah.
a lot of them, don't they?
Yeah.
And they're quite direct. Some of the teams we've played,
Well,
I
we
can't
just-
remember.
We'll launch it then.
We haven't got the people to do that.
We'll play Ed and Sam Dreyer up
Yeah.
front. Yeah.
Um,
It is different though. It's different, and it's something that comes into my thinking when we play in those games. Definitely.